Good morning and welcome to my office today. Just want to give you some Friday morning encouragement and just some thoughts on some things that God's been really working and teaching me in my personal study um, the last several days, actually I'd say last couple of weeks. And it's just been dealing with prayer, trusting God and his desire to communicate with us on a regular basis. He communicating with us communicating with him through prayer. And in James chapter number 4, I'm going to read through the first three verses, or look at the first three verses. They starts off, "From whence come wars and fightings among you? Come they not hence even of your lusts that war in your members?" Now, lusts are selfish desires. That it could even be an attitude. It's not just desires as far as I lust or I covet or I want that new sports car or I want this or that. It can be I want my way. I want my thoughts to be the right thoughts. And I don't mean that our thoughts being godly thoughts, but my opinion, my preferences, I want that to be right. I want that to be the only thing. I want that to be I want my way. That is all those lusts. But those lusts, um, they war. They're at war with us. They're at war around us, and so um, other people desire to be right as well. And so there's this conflict. We can see this in our country with the politics. You got two sides who they think they're right, and instead of listening and trying to compromise, there's just become this battle, and and it's not helpful for our nation. But it can even be as simple as I want that person's car, so I'm going to take it. Obviously, that's not right, and we understand that. But verse 2 tells us we lust, or again, those selfish desires, that me first attitude. We lust and have not, ye kill. And right there, I think everybody who is a believer would say, well, I've never killed anybody. Oh, I've had an opinion that I've argued with somebody and I called them a poopy head because they didn't agree with me. And um, those types of attitudes, but I've never killed anybody. I would never do that. I would never steal a car. I would never. But I think for this word kill in verse 2, if we would look at what Jesus said in Matthew chapter 5, verse 21 and 22, and we're not going to turn there, we're trying to keep this short, but it is very clear that if we are angry with a brother without cause, it is the same as murder. That's a paraphrase, but that's what Jesus is saying. If I am angry with my brother without a cause, it is the same as murder. And so if I'm angry at somebody because their opinion does not line up with me or my opinion, it is the same in God's sight as murder. So verse 2, it says, ye lust and have not, ye kill and desire to have and cannot obtain, ye fight and war, yet ye have not because ye ask not. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you just desired to have something, so you sat down and prayed and asked God, rather than sitting there and arguing with somebody or going through and manipulating things, trying to get what we want? Why not just go and pray? You say, well, how does that help with the political system? Well, we're told elsewhere that we ought to be praying for those who are an authority over us. Why don't we pray for those government officials and for those different people in leadership positions? Pray for them. And not necessarily pray that their opinion would line up with our opinion, but that God would give them wisdom. Because, can I tell you this, God's wisdom is going to be a whole lot better than your opinion. God's wisdom is going to be a whole lot better than my opinion. But if we pray that God would give them wisdom, And we continue. What if we prayed for their health? And God's blessing on them as they are in a position trying to make decisions. Rather than praying when there's somebody we disagree with and, well, I hope they get theirs. Why not pray for them? And trust that God would work in their lives. And we might find that as God gives them wisdom, maybe we'd see some things that were working a little better than what we thought. Ye have not because ye ask not. And then verse 3, this really hits home. Ye ask, so somebody might be saying, well, I've already do that. I already pray that way. I already pray. I've seen that sports car. I've prayed for it, and I don't have it yet. I've prayed for that $1 million, and I don't have it yet. It's verse 3, ye ask and receive not, because ye ask amiss, that ye may consume it upon your lust. You see, God knows our hearts. He knows why we're asking. He knows how we're going to use those things that we ask for. I believe God desires what is best for us. And this Sunday morning, we're going to be talking about praying and asking things according to God's will, trusting Him, knowing that He knows exactly what we need. He knows ourselves. He knows me. I have made comment about this before. I'm not a wealthy person. I don't try to pretend to be. I don't claim to be. And that's okay. I think I would be one, and God knows me, that if God blessed me with great wealth, I'm afraid I would lose sight of God. When I have to go to God regularly in prayer to meet my needs and take care of the different issues, it keeps me relying on God. It keeps me communicating with God. When God has allowed me to have maybe not necessarily great wealth, but things where I start feeling like I've got this, I've got it settled, I don't need God. I said, Pastor, you say I don't need God. I don't verbalize it, but by my actions, I start living like it. I don't pray as quickly and as regularly as I do when things are a little short. And so for me, God knows my heart. He knows what can easily pull me away. And so I believe there's times God holds back some things because He wants to keep me communicating with Him. And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for a God who knows me so personally, so intimately. He knows what I need. And He doesn't just give me and cause me to be a spoiled individual. And so I just want to encourage you with that. Are you having problems? Are you having disagreements? And I know in this time of these stay-at-home orders and the like, there's more time for some people to be able to be on social media, and there's a lot of back and forth, different conspiracies and thoughts going on and arguments back and forth on different issues. Don't get all hated. Don't get full of hate towards people who may have a different opinion of you. Keep praying for them. And I'd encourage you, just take time in prayer and talk to God. I hope this might be a little bit of an encouragement for you, and look forward to live streaming our Sunday morning service at 10:30 a.m. And we'll also have our, again, Lord willing, our Sunday evening service live streamed at 6 p.m. on Sunday. Still not meeting in person at the church. But again, I trust you'll have a good weekend, and we will visit online on Sunday.